Hey guys, it is Kevin here in Japan, and so I'm answering more questions that were put on my Facebook page by you wonderful people out there. And if you haven't already liked my Facebook page, the link's below. Go there. There's always cool stuff happening. It's like the hub of the jlandkev community. So I'm out here, and it's about to rain, so hopefully I can get this video done. So lots of questions asked. One person, Crystal, I believe, asked for me to talk about parenting in Japan. So that's a pretty broad topic, parenting in Japan. You could really go anywhere. You could write books about this kind of thing. Maybe I should do that someday. So parenting in Japan, I don't really know where to go with this, so I'm just going to shoot out at a couple of different things. I think if you are, I'll speak from my perspective as an international parent. So, I'm Canadian, my wife is Japanese. Okay, so obviously we've got two different, in many ways, we have similar outlooks on parenting, but we also have, culturally, there's different things about parenting. Big thing in Japan when it comes to parenting is co-sleeping. So there's a term in America, Canada, co-sleeping. That's like when the family all sleeps together. They don't have that term. There's no term for that in Japan because that's just called life. That's what everyone does. Families sleep together normally until the kids enter elementary school, and then normally it's kind of a tradition when a kid gets to first grade they get their own bedroom. I live in an apartment. As soon as I live in a bigger place, my son's going to get his own bedroom. We just don't have extra rooms for him. So parenting, how can I say? I think really the main challenge as a parent in Japan, as a Canadian parent, it's all about language. We want our son to be completely bilingual, completely fluent, flawlessly fluent in Japanese and English, where he can just drift in and out. I want him to speak like I do, no accent, maybe a Canadian accent, but to sound like a native speaker in both languages, and that's very possible. It's very doable. Lots of people do it, but it's hard work. Because, obviously there's something called an L1, in the case of a bilingual child, an L1 and an L2. L1 means first language, L2 second language. English is my son's L2. His first language, of course, is Japanese. Why? Because we're in Japan. Japanese is all around him, everywhere he goes. He turns on the TV, it's Japanese. He's outside with his friends, it's Japanese. The supermarket is Japanese. Every restaurant is Japanese. Everywhere he goes, he's hearing Japanese all day long. So obviously, that's his first language. And obviously he spends more time at home with his mother than me because I'm working. But what do? We try our best. So my wife, who speaks English quite fluently, she does speak English to him often, a lot. Also, we buy a lot of DVDs from Amazon.jp. A lot of Disney movies, like he loves the Toy Story movies. He loves Cars. He loves Finding Nemo. And all of those videos, we only play them in English. And he picks up a lot of stuff from those. And he watches a lot of Nickelodeon cartoons, Dora the Explorer, Go Diego Go, Yo Gabba Gabba, Blue's Clues, all that stuff. Ni Hao Kailan, gets a bit of Chinese in there. So his Japanese is definitely better. He can communicate more, he can express himself more, but his English is pretty good. And it's getting there. So that's a focus. And for just to talk a lot to him, to go outside, to constantly speak to him, ask him questions, engage him in English. So that's, I guess, as a parent in Japan, that's my main focus. It's making sure that my son is going to learn how to speak English well. And that's very important. There's fathers out there who are in my situation, or mothers, for example, who are international, from different countries, and they speak Japanese fluently, and they speak Japanese at home. That's how they communicate with their children. But I gotta, I look at my perspective. My son has family in Canada. He's got a grandmother and grandfather. He's got cousins and, an uncle and aunt and great uncles and great aunts and all that who don't speak Japanese. And he needs to be able to communicate with them. And who knows, are we going to be in Japan forever? Maybe not. We're going to be in Canada soon? I don't know, but maybe. There's always a possibility, right? So I want him to be able to function. And actually, even if we did stay in Japan long term, we're going to send him to Canada to go to school for a period of time. So, yeah, there you go, guys. Parenting in Japan. Parenting anywhere has its challenges. I suppose you just got to be really proactive and really think it through. You got to think about the language a lot more here. than you would back home. If you're growing up in a unilingual household, there's no thought to it, right? But you're growing up in a bilingual household, you're really trying to put that in, hammer it home. You got to put a lot of thought into it. All right, guys. Thank you, Crystal, for the question. Again, left on my Facebook page. Link below to my Facebook page. Go there and like it. Check it out. And see you later, guys. Kevin here in Japan. Take care.